Hello everybody, how you doing? Wee Paddy here from across the shuck, and you're very welcome. How are you all doing today? A lovely Sunday. I've had a very relaxing day. I'm just about getting set now to go on RJ's Knives Live tonight, which starts at 6:30 UK time, and it's somewhere in the morning or early afternoon in the States, depending on where you are. But please come along and join in. It's a very open, just four old lads having a chat about knives, and it's great. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about three of my new knives that, well, as a YouTuber, when we get new knives, we tend to carry them for a week and use them more than, we do other knives to give the testing to see what they're like. That's what I do. But you get some knives and you don't want them to get out of your pocket. And all three of these knives, for different reasons, I absolutely adore. And at least two of them has been in my pocket at any one time during this last week. In fact, it's been longer than a week for some of them. But I am just totally smitten with all three. Now, I'm due to do a review on this one very shortly. This is going to be coming available next Friday. This is one I bought with my own money, and this is one I traded for. And honestly, oh dear, you talk about this one I traded, it was a value of about £70. This one was about £200, and the Jack Wolf knives £275. So again, that wide range, which I like in my collection, that's right across the board. And I'm going to start at the least in value, but not... I'm not really a friction folder. I've had Hegan Camis, as you know, but this little beauty, it's in green micarta, it says, but indoors it looks nearly black. It's very, very dark, and it's linen micarta, so it's smooth, but it is just a beautifully tiny little knife with all the trademarks you'd get with a larger knife. It's fit and finish. It's right up the centre. You've got a couple of standoffs there at the back. You've got the large pin here, and you have another one here, and that's it. That's it. It takes, and these are actually just, they clipped in together. This screw just undoes the top and it comes off. It is, I took it apart just to have a look. It's the most simple construction. A friction folder is really a really early knife that was made long time ago. And all you do is look, it's so, and the action in this, you talk about Chris Reeves being sort of that really just easy, all the same pressure. That's exactly what this is. And all it is a little friction folder. It is beautiful. There's no detents, no nothing. The friction, the top of the friction folder stays there. You put your hand here, you have a large finger groove at the front, and you get I can get 3 fingers on it. But it's comfortably just. This back one really is just, it's too far down. It's not touching the back of the knife, but I am totally locked into this little knife. Now, am I going to do anything that's going to threaten this? No, I'm not. It's an N690, which is a fantastic little steel for what it is. Easy to sharpen. This is a little nip and put it away. This is a people-friendly knife. It couldn't scare anybody. Look, there's a palm in my hand, and it only just gets across it. It's a lovely. Now, this is made by a South African maker, Karoo, K-R-O-O. And his name's William Kelly, but his company's called Karoo. And he makes knives and sells them around the world. It's a custom knife, and this was made for the UK Friction Folder Society. And if I just look at that, that is actually hammered. All that tiny little thing, I don't know what he uses, but it's made to look like it's forged, but it's just hammered. I just think the detail on this little knife is unbelievable. And you've got Torx there to take it apart. Just a super little, tiny little blade, but not, this isn't like needle knife, but this is, I've been using this for nearly everything. I've opened packages. I haven't cut down boxes because I don't need to do it with this, but any little job at, opening that, taking a wee plastic tag off things, I've been using it for that. It's really sturdy. And when you have your hand on here, it's nearly, watch my finger change colour. I am putting as much pressure as I can, right? Look at that. You couldn't move it. It doesn't even go a tiny bit. So it's such a safe little knife, and it's just a friction folder. I want a bigger version of this. Now, maybe not by the same maker, because, you know, I try to change about, but I'll look for another maker that makes a knife something similar to this, but in a larger version. I think it is amazing. It came with its lovely little crew pouch. Really lovely made. It just slips in there and it goes in the bottom of my left pocket. Love it. And I just can't stop it. I haven't stopped using it the whole week. I really haven't. It's just been and I sit and fiddle with it at night time. There's ways to open these and you'll get better. I mean, I saw it at the beginning, but that's it open. You put your finger there and off you go. Takes no time at all. Like I keep saying, I'm never in a rush to get my knife out. So that's the first one, and honestly, it's just a treat to have that in my collection. I don't think that'll ever go for my collection, nor do I think these two. And I know it's very soon, and I do say things like that, and then they disappear. And that's me. The next one is the Tactile Turn Bear. I don't know what makes it special. I have no idea. I've been trying to think all afternoon of what I could say that would make you think this is special. It is incredibly thin. There's it against the Jack Wolf knives. And like, this is not a thick knife. This is a thin knife. It's just a single blade. But look at the difference. It's amazing. It has the Tactile Turn. They make pens. Let me see if I can get this. There you go. You can see it is milled all up the handle, which gives that beautiful texture. Lovely feeling. Is this a hard use knife? No. Could it do hard use? Well, it could do hard use EDC. That's what I would say. There's nothing I can think of that I would want to do in my day that this couldn't do. Walk and talk is lovely. Very secure lockup. Beautiful pivot. Really lovely. It's turned that sort of circle pivot, and on the other side, really symmetrical looking. It's just the same on both sides. The nail nick is a double, well, not long pull, short pull. Nail nicks there, they're not very effective. You could get your nail in them if you needed, but I've never used them all week. Where they sit, if you put here, the meat of your thumb goes in and you can just pull out. Absolutely easy, not a problem. It's about I haven't even thought of it like that. I suppose it's about a 6 at the most, but more because of you're just putting your thumb in there and having to pull a wee bit harder. But sorry, between a 5.5, 6. The amazing thing about this little knife is the steel that's on it, and that's why I wanted to get it in the first place. It's MagnaCut. So for £200, I've got MagnaCut. It's titanium and MagnaCut steel, and look at that beautiful little clip point. They've got lovely detail in that clip point. I love a clip point, as you know, so this was always going to be a hit. It's got high flat ground, and it is, I'm going to just confirm that, 'cause sometimes you get a wee lower. No, completely flat. It's a high flat ground. Beautiful. You can see the bevel on that there. It's hardly noticeable at all because it's so thin down here. It is a slicing machine. It really is just a slicing machine. And you can't prove that by cutting, but I can sort of show you just roughly what it's like. This little knife, I haven't sharpened it. It's just, it really is just a beautiful cutting machine. It takes nothing to get through a bit of paper, but it cuts up boxes, anything like that. And with MagnaCut, you've plenty of power as long as you're slicing. This is not the sort of knife you're going to bend and use doing woodworking as such, unless it was balsa wood and you'd want to do a bit of whittling, but it's too big for whittling in my eyes. But a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. And I've put it in this pocket with a pen, and this slip, sorry, with a pen, and it gives me that option of having the pen on there rather than clipped in my pocket. I can't tell you. Now, this is not perfect. And you know what I always say, if knives are not perfect, I don't put them on the channel. There's different stages. This is a slip joint. It's in a very thin, incredibly thin. You can see the difference. So it's offset at the bottom. Now, it's not touching. It's more than I would normally want or accept for a £200 knife. but it's a little bit off. It's not touching. And when you're lifting it, you're pushing it away from that side. So I didn't send it back, which I could have done, because, you do expect it, but it'll not bother me in the slightest. And I sort of knew from the first day I got it, I didn't want to let it go, if that makes any sense. I just knew I would accept that. It's a slip joint. I'm not, I love to see them down the centre, but they don't really have to be for use. And once I got this, I knew that this was going to stay. Within the first day, I knew it was going to stay. Forever, I don't know. But it's going to stay for a long while. Because I've been carrying, some days I've been carrying all three of these. Because this goes in my left-hand pocket, and this goes in my right hand. That's in my left hand. But these two together can both go in my right. They're that light. It's just, this is under 2 ounces. Do you know what I mean? This is about 2.8 or something. I can't remember. But it's light anyway. It's just pockets, slip joint. It's not going to be that heavy. Beautiful action on it. I am completely and utterly smitten. And this design, it's like I said the other night, it's like a lady's stockings. That's just, what, like the old nylon stockings. That's what it feels like. It's just a beautiful knife to have and to be part of the collection. I love it. Really do. And so far, the MagnaCut, of course, it's doing well. I mean, it's Rockwell hardness. They tell you on your little card that you get with it, it's Rockwell to 61, which is not high for, it's probably the lower end that you'd want in Rockwell. You'd want maybe 62, 63, if not even 64. But 61's good enough for what I'll ever use. It's everything else about the steel, how forgiving it is, how long lasting it is. And it's so far thoroughly enjoyed it, not had to sharpen it. Strop it, I do every knife. Every night nearly, I'll strop the knife just as I'm sitting watching the TV later on. And then it comes to the last one. And this is not the review. I'm going to do a full review. It was just to let you know that sometimes, like 1 week, you can get 3 knives. And oh my God, there's nothing else gets in the pocket. I've even had to lie on my Instagram. Well, I stopped this last 3 days because I didn't want to, because these are what I've been carrying. This is the Javelina from Jack Wolf Knives. And enjoy does not come into the word. It just doesn't. This is my pretty knife. And this will be my working knife. Carried together? Absolutely. Why not? This is the pretty one to take out when the chicks are about. But it is just, obviously it's well made. In fact, it's better than well made. It's perfect in my eyes. Look at that. Look at that right down the back spine. The fit and finish is stunning. It really is. I love this blade shape. I love this handle. This handle is just absolutely stunning. The covers on it are just stupendous. It's like a purple jungle wear haze or whatever they call it. It is absolutely fantastic. It fits in the hand. It just tucks in there. And it is, look, my updated 5 knives for my 5 favourite Jack Wolf knives is going to be updated again. This is going in. I just haven't decided where it's going in on the lineup. But it is just, I haven't decided which one I'm going to take out of the lineup. But this, honestly, I have had so much pleasure in this knife. This is not under-steeled, better steel than this. This is S90V, which is just seems to be, now I've never really used long time S90V. This is just a beast. I mean, it just cuts and cuts, and it's not got anywhere near that. I've probably stropped this less than I've stropped this. Again, probably because I've done a more cut than this, but it is just fantastic. And the main review, you sort of know what it's going to be like. So it'll probably not be a long one. It is a stunning knife, and it's available this Friday coming. There's still some of last month's available at Fraymar Knives if you get over and see them, which is the Fat Spear Point, which is just, honestly, don't let the shape put you off. Once you get it, you'll be amazed. But this has just been in the pocket and been used. And again, it's EDC use in my EDC, which is probably a lot lighter than some, and maybe a lot more than others, because I do want to test the knives for reviews. But that's the 3 knives that have been in my pocket all flipping this week, and a wee bit of last week for some of the other ones. In fact, it's been 2 weeks for some. It's just, and I'd never normally have that. You know, I'll have one knife that I really, really like, but 3, and I could quite happily carry these 3 for the rest of my life. That to me, I mean, this is just, is it a gimmick knife? Absolutely not. Package it, anything at all you want, nipping a bit of thread, cutting a bit of string. It is just fantastic to have. You don't have to take either of these good knives out, and popping zip ties, it's absolutely brilliant at. So 3 good knives, completely different knives in my opinion. I can't choose between them. I know which one I like the best, and it's in that order that they're going from this end down. But for each and every knife there, I mean, this is a hollow grind. It's just scary. This is so thin and slicey. This is just a perfect little EDC for knickknacks. Fantastic. Having all 3 of them, I definitely don't feel undergunned. If I have to use something else, then it's been a pretty tough task, because these, and again, apart from turning sideways, because the blade steel is so thin here, this is not what you want to go like that and go on. Now, it'll do zip ties and things, but I'm talking into wood and then try to force it over. I wouldn't do that. I have other knives that do that. I wouldn't be doing it with these. But, oh, the pleasure in these is just immense. So, just a little rundown what I've been carrying this week. Let me know down below what you've been carrying this week. And has any of the knives you've got or you've used this week surprised you again? Maybe you haven't carried them for a while and it's set you off on another wee road to carry it for a while, which is the biggest pleasure I get in this hobby. Is every now and then I go to take one just because I haven't used it for a while, and then you realise, oh my God, that's lovely. And it stays in the pocket for a week. So let me know down below what you've carried this week, and the goods, the bads, whatever about them. All good. Sorry. Bye-bye now. Paddy's away for a cup of tea. Have a lovely Sunday. Don't forget, RJ's Knives. This is Sunday night, 6:30 UK time. It's just a live, and it's just so much fun. And again, it's just talking about knives. That's all I want. Take care. Bye-bye now.